Hi, let's join Fred Kuhn now for another in-depth interview.
Welcome, everybody. Our subject today is personal branding. Our guest is Andrew Ko, who is an executive recruiter, executive career coach, global career development facilitator, and co-author of the book, Leveraging LinkedIn for Job Search Success 2018. Welcome, Andrew.
Good morning. Thank you.
Andrew, when talking about personal branding, what is a personal brand?
Yeah, so it's a reputation, right? It's your skill set. What are you good at? These are, your superpowers, right? So you might be this executive career coach or trainer or even a motivational speaker, right? It's how you want to be perceived to people in your network and beyond.
Does this apply to job seekers as well?
Sure. Yeah. When you're in the job search, you want to know what your personal brand is, and you want to market that personal brand. You want to market your personal brand. If you are a certified coach, or if you are an award-winning salesperson, you want the world to know that when you're looking for a job, right? And that you want to put that on your resume, your LinkedIn. You want when you're networking, you're talking to people, say, this is what I do, right? You're passionate about technology sales, right? You want awards. So that's part of who you are, right? It might not be so much your title, because many times we're more than our title, right? But you're this superstar, rock star salesperson, or you are this, artist, or you are this executive career coach, or whatever that might be. You want people to know that, and you want them to know that you are exceptionally good at what you do, because you want that to go beyond your network, right? That's how opportunities come up. So, people reach out to you, like, hey, I heard about you from such and such, and we have some friends in common, and I understand, we've got this position open, thought maybe, you might be interested. I've had many opportunities come my way just because people have heard of my name, right? And they know what I'm good at, right? And they've reached out and connected with me, or reached out and messaged me on LinkedIn, right? And that's, such a valuable tool these days.
Undoubtedly, it's probably one of the most important tools, I would agree. So you have a personal brand. I was thinking while you were talking about LinkedIn, resume, all of that, cover letter, a web presence, all of that really also should be integrated, shouldn't it? So that you have the same message, you're delivering a consistent message.
Sure. Yeah. You want it to be consistent. If your resume is saying that you are such and such, you don't want your LinkedIn saying something completely different. I mean, your personal brand might be your HR director, right, on your resume, right? But when you go to your LinkedIn profile, it turns out you're all about film, right? So, that's happened before, where I was about to reach out to somebody. I got the resume, and they are a well-qualified HR director. They've done a lot of stuff, and this is what they're doing. They go to the LinkedIn profile, and it's got nothing about HR on there, and it's all about film and writing screenplays. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, what is this about, right?
Right. Each one must be supportive of the other. It can't be disparate like you just gave us real example. I have seen personally so many disparate examples of they say one thing in one, they say another thing in another. I guess what they're trying to do, and I really don't know, but I think what they're trying to do is, I'll apply for a job over here, so I'll put this resume out, and then I'll change the title and use the same stuff, but it's different. I don't want to change my LinkedIn profile all the time. I'll leave it the same way. And so I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all resume. I mean, we're not really talking about resumes right now. You want to be cognizant of what you're putting out there. I mean, if you're applying to a certain position that's not accounting, but your resume is all about accounting, and it literally says that you're looking for your next opportunity in accounting, you might want to be aware of that and tweak that a bit, and it really consider, well, what are you about? What is your personal brand, and what you're putting out there? How is that affecting that?
Yes. When you develop a personal brand, Andrew, shouldn't one start with what is your objective and goal in doing that?
Yeah, think about that. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to do in your professional careers. You've heard the word recareering, right? Think about that. As if you want to go from, working in insurance to working in some other industry, well, that's not an easy career transition, right? Going from one industry to another. So how do you do that? Well, personal branding is a big part of that. And so and then networking is a huge part of that too. So you really got to be doing both of those, managing your personal brand and networking a lot, right? And making sure people know what you're all about, what you're doing these days, and what you're passionate about doing, so that they know. They may know you as, this accountant that's been doing accounting for over 10 years, or doing insurance for over 15 years, or whatever it might be, and now you want to go into doing something else, right? You've got to let people know what it is you're all about. You got to let people know what you're passionate about, networking. You're doing it, right, so that your network can catch up with you and say, oh, okay, he or she's now doing this. This is what he or she is now all about, and this is what they're passionate about. Okay, now we know. Because you want your reputation to be known for this, and you want that to go beyond your network and your circle of friends, right? And that's where, things start happening, when opportunities start coming up.
I was thinking and writing a while back about what is a personal brand, and I came up with some componentry for that. One is the resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, a personal website. And then beyond that, you can have all of that, and many executives hire people to write those for them, but they can't communicate it. So the next part of your brand is also being able to communicate your value-add propositions so that the other side gets it. And then the last is, like my dad used to say, does he clean up good? And it's the idea of, do you look like where you want to be? I got lots of stories about that one, but the idea is that it is multifaceted components of a brand.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, right? And I heard you mention this. Dress for the job you want, right? That could be a part of it too. But it's all these different components, and it's how you market yourself using these components, right? Personal websites, professional website. There's so much social media out there these days, not just LinkedIn, but there's a lot of other platforms out there that, some are more relevant than others. If you're a banker, you probably don't have much use for Instagram, right? But if you're in the restaurant business, that would be huge for you. So there's all kinds of different social media platforms that you can be using to supplement and support your personal brand. I think the statistic out there is average user has at least 5 different social media accounts, right? I think I probably have a bit more than that. But, some are going to be more relevant to you than others.
That's correct. Going back to the fourth component, which is communicating, I've always maintained that if they want to hire you, they want you to tell them why they should do that. And in doing the telling, there are really 2 courses of action. One is you are trying to communicate your value above the cost basis for the job. So if the salary is 100, let's just use some simple numbers. If the salary is 100,000 and benefits are 25%, then you got 125,000 basic cost basis. If that is in the Bay Area, you multiply by 4 or 5. If it's in Des Moines, Iowa, you multiply by 0.8. Something like that. It gives you kind of a general factor. So if you're interviewing for a cost basis of, say, 300,000, then what are you bringing to my company that helps me above $300,000 cost in this marketplace? And so that's the communicating that I'm talking about, is being able to help the hiring authority feel that they are getting a value in excess of their cost. And the greater they feel that excess is, of course, the greater the negotiating power you have during an interview.
Right. Demonstrate your higher value. This is what I have done, right? And this is what I can do for you. I've generated X amount of money in revenue for my prior company, or I've saved this much money, or I've done this, or I've hired this many people, whatever that is, right? That's definitely something that you want to be promoting and marketing when you're talking to people.
And then when you're talking to people, you're talking to the hiring authority, you also want to communicate beyond that. You want to communicate how you did that, because they're looking for style. They're looking for, how do you you achieve these great things you say you do? You can be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but if you don't play well with others and your behavioral competencies are not a good match, I'm not going to hire you to disrupt my company. Well, folks, we have spent a wonderful 15 minutes with Andrew Ko. And if you would like to get a hold of Andrew, please do so on the guest biography section of the website. Andrew, thank you very much for being a guest today on the topic of personal branding and how important that is to a job seeker or to anyone.
Thanks for joining us. If you wish to speak with Fred or you want a transcript of this interview, send an email to podcast@stuartcoopercoon.com. See you soon.